The first plague, water turns to blood. God is greater than Egypt's gods. Imagine a river before sunrise. Cool mist, silver water, birds skating low across the surface. Now imagine that same river deepening in color, darker, heavier, until it runs red like blood. Fish rise and drift, jars fall from shaking hands, priests stop mid-prayer. This is how God began to speak to Egypt, through the river they trusted more than him. Before the river changed, a message came. Before the message, a calling. And before the calling, a promise. God does not forget his people. Years had passed since Moses left Egypt. Once a prince, now a shepherd, he learned the slow language of the wilderness, the way dawn writes gold on stone, the way sheep follow a steady voice, the way the wind carries a man's prayers farther than he thinks. At a mountain called Horeb, God spoke from a flame that burned and did not burn away. The voice knew Moses' name, and it knew Israel's tears. Go to Pharaoh. Tell him, let my people go, that they may worship me. Who am I to stand before a king? I will be with you. So Moses returned, with his brother Aaron beside him, and with a staff that would become a sign. He returned carrying more than wood. He carried a promise, ancient as Abraham. Morning crowns Egypt with gold. Pharaoh descends the white stone steps toward the Nile, the river the people praise, the river the priests sing to, the river Egypt calls its lifeblood. On the opposite bank, two figures wait. No guards, no banners, only calm faces and a staff. Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, let my people go, that they may worship him in the wilderness. The Lord, who is the Lord that I should obey him? Look at this river, look at my land. Egypt bows to me. Pride smiles like a mask. It looks strong, it sounds certain, but pride doesn't listen. God had told Moses what would happen next. The warning would become a sign. The river lies still as a mirror. Priests murmur, attendants lift jars, children chase birds along the shore. Stretch out your hand with the staff, over the rivers, canals, ponds, and pools. Aaron raises his arm, the staff points, the surface shivers, and color blooms in widening circles, light red, darker, darker still, until the Nile wears a robe of crimson. Blue turns to blood. Sweetness sours. Silence breaks. A jar slips and shatters. A priest draws back, hands over his mouth. A child points, eyes wide, not understanding. Fish roll belly up. Reeds tremble with the weight of the smell. By the steps, water in clay pitchers turns red. In a courtyard, clear water in stone basins turns red. In a shaded room, water tucked away for later turns red. Where the river goes, the sign goes. Where the river sits, the sign sits. Egypt's boast becomes Egypt's warning. Inside the palace, light dances on gold, and silence clings to the walls. Pharaoh sits high, chin lifted, and summons the magicians, men trained to steady crowds and flatter thrones. Show me this trick. Make water red. They kneel at small bowls of clear water. Fingers circle, whispers press the air, and yes, their water darkens. Tiny copies of a storm they cannot command. Pharaoh smiles. He does not ask them to cleanse the Nile, only to copy the disaster. Imitation is enough for pride, because imitation helps it pretend. You see, Moses, your sign is nothing. He walks away from mercy as easily as he walked away from the shore. Day after day, Egypt tastes thirst. Villagers dig near the river for pockets of clear water and find mud that blushes and turns. Fish markets close, nets hang dry, priests retreat from ritual baths. The smell of the river stays on the city like a heavy memory. In a small clay home, an elder speaks to children. Long ago, God promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, "I will be your God." He has never broken his word. The children lean in, eyes catch lamplight. They do not know politics, they know a God who hears. Pride is a heavy door swollen in its frame. You can push, and it will not open. Far from the palace, Moses looks toward the river, a dark ribbon across a weary land. The sky carries the same color Egypt fears. Lord, Pharaoh doesn't listen. The people suffer. Why send me if he will not hear? Now you will see what I will do. I will redeem my people with mighty acts of judgment. Through this, Egypt will know that I am the Lord. Moses lowers his head. The desert becomes a sanctuary. He understands. This is not only exit for Israel, it is revelation for Egypt. Justice and mercy carved across a riverbed. God will take out his powerful hand to rescue the people, and then Pharaoh will let them go. Egypt leaned on the Nile. God touched the Nile. Egypt leaned on magicians. God revealed their limits. Pharaoh leaned on pride. God would teach him humility. At dawn, a boy stands by the bank, watching the color slowly loosen its grip. His mother places a hand on his shoulder. Do you see how the water clears? The Lord gives, and the Lord teaches. If God can change the river, maybe he can change our future. He can, he promised. Sometimes God allows what we lean on to wobble, so that we learn to lean on him. On the 8th morning, the river runs blue. Relief spreads like shade at noon. Jars fill, markets open, but one thing does not return: confidence in the old gods. Moses and Aaron stand again before the throne. Thus says the Lord, let my people go, that they may worship him. No. He has watched a river obey a command he cannot see. He still will not bend. The first sign stands at the road's edge like a pillar. Pharaoh could turn back. He does not. Next come frogs, then gnats, then flies. Each sign louder, each lesson clearer. The Lord is God. His people must be free. Notice this. Even as judgment approaches, mercy walks with it. God warns before he strikes. He sends Moses again and again. He gives space. He gives chances. He gives signs no eye has seen. Through it all, he keeps a promise older than Egypt itself. The first plague teaches us that God is greater than anything we trust more than him. Rivers, riches, rulers, none of them are gods. When our hearts grow proud, they harden, but when we listen, we learn, and when we learn, we find freedom. For Israel, the Red River begins the answer to long prayers. For Egypt, it is a chance to bow to the true king. For us, it is a reminder. God sees, God hears, and God acts. In the right time, in the right way. This was only the beginning. Next, frogs will cover the land, palaces, ovens, beds, everywhere. Come back for the next tiny Bible tale, the second plague, frogs everywhere.